Leadership. It's a big topic. When I was in business school, there were predefined leadership styles, and it was really easy to determine what leadership style you were. In looking at this project, I decided to take it from a different perspective. I've already finished a pathway, and when you get into your second and third pathways, you tend to repeat some of the same projects. And I have to tell you, it kind of peeved me. A lot of the same projects were the same. And then I thought to myself, I'm reading this book about letting go. And what can I let go of? I can let go of the fact that I think I know all about leadership styles. So I decided to take that moment that it peeved me and turn it into a further research and learning opportunity for myself. Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters and guests, welcome to Reimagine Leadership. As Lynn stated, this is a speech about how I looked at myself in 2023 and how I want to reimagine myself for 2024. I will not be going into defining all the leadership styles. There's plenty of information out there for you, and happy to answer questions if you have any. But firstly, I'd like to start off by showing you the 6 that I grew up with. This is what was stated as the 6 leadership styles when I was in business school: autocratic, visionary, affiliative, democratic, pace setting, and coaching. What you do is you take a test and then you get this long email with the results. My results came back, I was 50% visionary. I was pretty happy with that. But then there's other positions where you're 30% this, 20% that. And I'm like, that could be really confusing. So I went back this year to see what other kind of tests they were. And oh my gosh, there are so many more tests. Not only do they change the name to be more modern, but they changed the whole structure. The one on the bottom only has 4 leadership styles, and I learned 6. What am I supposed to do about this? So I thought about it, and I took the test. And what did I get? Crazy results. I was 50% something else, not even visionary. And it was really starting to mess with my mind. And I thought, okay, I'm just going to scrap all this and kick it old school. I'm going to take the word leadership, and for each letter of the word, I'm going to define a principle or a concept that I'm going to hold myself accountable to in 2024. And I'd like to take you through that now. L is for leveling up. When I was fresh out of business school, I didn't have a lot of emotional intelligence. I hadn't been running teams. And I thought, I'm just going to level up this organization with my new skills. I'm going to have meetings. We're going to be impactful. And what I realized as I went through Toastmasters and different organizations is that the first thing I need to do is level up myself within the organization or company that I'm in. Meaning, I don't need to bombard them with all my new skills for what they hired me for. What I first need to do is level up and learn the people, learn the structures, what's working, what's not working. Second is evaluate. Not only do we have to evaluate ourselves in the first step, leveling up, we have to evaluate our teams. When you're a dynamic person, if you fall under visionary, transformative coaching, you tend to be very charismatic and have a lot of big ideas, and we can run over people. And I found I did that early in my career. And even last year, I had to sit back and say, in my coaching business, am I meeting people where they are? Do I have too high of expectations because I have personal high expectations? And the answer was yes. So I needed to calm myself down and say, I need to meet people where they are. Always seek innovation. I know a lot of you are afraid of AI, but use it as a tool. Don't think of it as a replacement. AI can't do a really great smile yet. They're still kind of artificial, and they can't concept emotion yet. It's very fake. So those are the 2 things we have as humans, our smile and our emotion when we're presenting. So always seek that innovation as a tool. Don't be afraid of it. Delegate. This is a big one for me. Not only delegating, but delegating with trust. That goes back to elevating your team. If you give someone a job, you have to have faith that they're going to do a great job. And if they're struggling with it, they will ask you for help or ask their team for help. You don't need to step in and do it for them. And I've always been the person people went to and said, can you help me with this? So I have a tendency to kind of jump in and do things for people. But I have to remember, as a leadership, we all have our own lane. Lynn has membership. I have PR. Victor's our president. Stay in your own lane. But then when people reach out for help or you have suggestions for them, grab them offline and say, hey, I saw this. You're struggling with this. I can help. But leave that open environment for delegation so people can do their own work in their own lane. Next was execute. This is a huge problem for me. I'm a big dreamer. I'm a Pisces. I see shiny object. I want to start all these books and projects. And last year, the end of the year was tough for me. We had a death in the family. I had to plan my dad's 80th birthday, which was remote. So I put a lot of pressure on myself to make it perfect. And then I got sick for 2 weeks and I just shut down. So what did I do? Did I keep going on and working my business? No, I shut it all down and I took time to reevaluate how I'm going to execute my projects more efficiently in 2024, even when life gets thrown in my face and we get derailed. Respond. Friends, this one, if you take nothing from this speech, please respond quickly. Respond quickly in your email, in your replies. Mara does a great job of this. When we worked together, I would give her these 20-item emails that would be overwhelming for a video edit. And she would say, received, or I'm working on it this weekend, but she would close the loop in my mind. I didn't have to think, did Mara get the message? Was it too much? Is she mad at me? Like, we go through all these things when we're corresponding with people. Same thing in the club, same thing in your other organizations. Please respond promptly. You don't have to go all in and give your answer, but just respond and close the loop for the other person, because that's what you would like to have done for you. Stewardship. Oh my gosh, last year was just lesson after lesson for me. I keep saying this is the one. Stewardship is a big one too. Stewardship is about giving freely without expectation of returning. And because I'm a creative person, I like to give away some of my creativity to the club. I like to build YouTube channels. But what I had to do is define a percentage of my time. I can't just say yes to everything, and I can't feel bad when I say no. So I preset time. I have 20% of my week I can do for stewardship. And if I'm building something for someone, I don't expect them to pay me. It's stewardship. And then in my business, when I'm working on that, the majority of the time, I do expect to get paid. And it's really lightened the load for me. I can tell people I've got this much time for stewardship, and I'm happy to do it because I don't feel that pressure of saying yes or no anymore. I either have the time or I don't. Happiness, be happy. Everyone knows that I promote joy as a choice, and business is hard, especially for creatives, especially for those of you running your own businesses. We have to wear so many hats. Sometimes we have to stop and pivot. Sometimes we have to hire, and it gets overwhelming, but a smile goes a long way. Don't make it painful for other people to work with you, even if you're stressed. Imagination. I tend to do too much imagination, but I encourage everyone before you jump into a project to just sit. Don't get the pen out. Don't go crazy. Just sit with it and imagine what could be before you jump into your project. And principles. Define your principles and stick to them, but be open-minded enough to adjust. So I'm consistent all last year with my vision of being a visionary leader, but now in 2024, I'm moving to a transformative leader where I'm going to transform the people and the things I'm working with in real time versus just dreaming about them in a vision. So friends, you are all leaders. You're leaders in business. You're leaders in your family. You're leaders in your community. How are you going to reimagine leadership in 2024? Madam Toastmaster.